In this lesson, you will learn how you will be graded on the writing exam. So first, let's have a look at the aspects of grading. Within the grading, there are two main aspects on which you will be graded. And these are first, the content, so that is what you write, and second, the language, and that is how you write it. Within the content and the language, there are specific aspects on which you will be graded. For example, in content, you will be graded on whether you have understood the exercises and executed them well. And within language, there are the specific aspects like how is your grammar and how is your spelling. In this lesson, I will tell you more about these specific aspects, and you can also look in the link below this lesson where you will find the official grading document in which you can also see these specific aspects on which you will be graded for the writing exam. And even though you will be graded on specific aspects, in the end, for each exercise you make on the exam, you will get a grade for your whole exercise. So you'll get a holistic grade. And you'll be graded on a level A2. So you will have to be able to express yourself in a clear and understandable way and be able to build correct sentences. However, they're not expecting from you that you can do complicated things, that you can make a complex sentence. This is not yet a requirement for A2 level. However, you should be able to build a correct sentence and have a decent basic vocabulary. First, let's have a look at how they grade the content of your writing exercise. So that is what you write. Now, first and by far most important is the execution of the exercise. This is in the official grading document, they call this the adequaatheid. And the execution of the exercise means that you execute the exercise in a correct way, so that it shows that you understood what they are instructing to you and that you make the exercise the way that they instructed it. And the reason why this is so important is because if you don't do this one correctly, if you get 0 points on the execution of the exercise, then you will also get 0 points on all the other aspects. So really make sure that you read the exercise carefully and that you understand what they are asking. Second, on the content, they will grade the clearness and the understandability of your exercise. In the grading document, this is called coherentie. So they will look at your exercise as a whole to see how clear and understandable it is. Next, let's have a look at how you will be graded on language. So that is how you write it. And within language, there are a couple of aspects on which you will be graded, such as, for example, the vocabulary. So do you know enough words to express what you want to write? And next, the spelling. Are you able to spell the words correctly? And if you don't spell it correctly and it doesn't affect the understandability of a word, then that's not such a big problem. That is considered as a very small mistake. And finally, the grammar. And for the grammar, there are certain things that you really need to know and need to be able to apply, and other things that are not such a problem yet, because at an A2 level it's not expected that you know everything already. So there are some important and less important things for the grammar, and in the next part of the video I will tell you a bit more about that. First, let's have a look at the important grammar topics. So what should you know and what should you be able to apply? And first of all, some essential things are the sentence structure, so that you know the place of the subject, the verb, and the rest. They're not expecting from you to make complex sentences, but you should be able to make basic Dutch sentences where the words are in the correct order. Then the verb conjugation. So you need to know the correct form of the verbs. For example, a regular verb like werken, but also some common irregular verbs like hebben en zijn, to have and to be, or gaan en doen, to go and to do. And these are common verbs, so even though they are irregular, you still need to know how they are conjugated. Then some other examples of important grammar subjects are the negatie. So is it niet or is it geen? Yeah? And the pluralis. Does a word in the plural end with en, like boeken, or with an s, like tafels? And then the comparatief and the superlatief are also grammar subjects that are very useful to be able to use. Some examples are leuk, meaning fun, then leuker, more fun, leukst, the most fun. or goed, beter, best en graag, liever, het liefst. So all of these important grammar subjects that you need to know for the writing exam can be practiced in the grammar section of this course. Now let's have a look at the grammar topics that are a bit less important. I'm not saying that you should not study for them, because if you can apply them in a correct way, well, that's great. But if you make a mistake in them, then that is considered as a small mistake. It's not such a big problem. Such as, for example, your choice of de or het. So if you choose de or het and it's incorrect, this is not such a big deal. It doesn't matter that much. It is more important that when you know that there should be de or het, but you're not sure which one, just guess one of both, because it is better to guess wrong than to write no article where there should be one. That is considered as a bigger mistake. So to give you a recap on this lesson, how you are graded, let's first look at the first aspect on which you are graded, the content. So that is what you write. And in the content, they grade the execution of your exercise. And this is super important because you need to execute the exercise correctly in order to score points for all the other aspects as well. So make sure that you read the exercise carefully and understand what they're instructing you to do so you can have a good execution of the exercise. Next, on the content, you'll be graded on the clearness and the understandability of your exercise as a whole. And on the language part, so how you write it, you will be graded on your vocabulary, your spelling, and your grammar. And for grammar, there are topics that are very important that you should be able to apply, and some topics that are a bit less important. If you make a mistake in one of those topics, then that is considered as a small mistake, so that's not such a big problem. But make sure that you're in control of the important grammar topics. Then, even though you will be graded on aspects specifically, your exercise is graded as a whole. There is a holistic grading. They look at your whole exercise and then give you the grade. So if you want to look a bit more in detail at the official grading document, you can look in the link below this lesson. There you'll find the link to that document. So that concludes this lesson. Thank you for your attention and see you in the next lesson.